Hi everybody, it's Kathy. Welcome to La Plume Notes. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my very first junk journal, which has the Christmas theme. All right, go ahead and stick around and I'll do a quick flip through. Alright, so I'll do a flip through of this journal, but I also wanted to show you a lot of the material that I was using to incorporate into here. So I'll talk through some of that, but I will share a lot of that at the end of the video after the flip through. Alright, let's do the flip through. Alright guys, here is the journal. I am super excited about this journal. I love it. I think that for one of the very first journals that I've made, not bad at all. I hope to improve along the way, but it was super fun to make this and I can't wait to do more. And again, I hope I might be in the process of just making a lot of these. I don't know if I'll actually be able to journal in tons of those, but we'll see what gets done along the way, because you know, the creation process is so fun in itself. And so just for the binding, I kind of just did a more of a traveler journal style, so I could slide some of these in and out. I do have other journals where I do bind them in, but this one, since I was experimenting, I wanted the ability to pull things in and out as I felt comfortable. And so that's why I did it with this style. All right, go ahead and going to untie this. And again, I just kind of hung it here so that it won't get lost. And then here you'll see that this scrap paper kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Burberry style paper, but it's came out of a Christmas pack, a scrapbook paper. So it's got a little bit of pink and gold in there. And on the cover here, you'll see that there is some doily. I don't know, this isn't really lace, more crochet type of fabric. Here's a little bit of lace that came off of a huge dress that I have, so I have tons of this. And then some birds on a tree, and then the little Christmas tree here that I glued on. Then I have this Merry Christmas on a red fabric and over a little bit of aged paper, vintage paper. All right, go ahead and open it. And for the first page, I really like to have it be like a lot of things in there. I don't know why. It's kind of how you experience the book, the first experience of the book. So I just wanted a lot of things in here. And so I actually fussy cut this out. It took me a while. Not too bad. I was experimenting with one of those small ones that you kind of guide along your finger. And I was trying that out, that I think my husband got me a while ago. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, because you could see the detail. It took a while. And so this is actually from a card, so I'll show you that towards the end. And then this one is something I got in the mail. And I don't remember if it was for a credit union or something like that. And I thought this image was just super cute and it was so large, so I thought it'd be great to go ahead and do some journaling on the back of there. And I just put some, I think this is like Amazon packaging or something, or the gray toned one that I glued back here. And this is, I just love the different writing style on this. It's a little bit crazy, but I didn't want to throw it away. I just love that's how there was like little holes in here because there was needles actually attached to this. And I thought it'd be cool to just incorporate it into this journal, since I wanted to remove it from the packaging, but I didn't want to throw this away. So I glued this onto a page from a book that had some snow scene in here, so also can journal there. Oh yes, and some fun, I don't know, it's called eyelash trim. I could be wrong. All right, okay. And then I have a bunch of cards. So this has 3 signatures. And these are all from the same scrapbook, and I just cut them down. And so there's 3 signatures in here, kind of the similar layout. And then in here, I got a box of a bunch of cards from the thrift store, and some of them had multiple copies of one, and some of them only had 1 copy of that card. And so if there was a small copy of that card and it was small enough to fit in here, I actually just used it within each of these sets. So I'll show you that as well. But yeah, so this is the first card, Christmas card. And then I also had a little bit of this left over, and I made it a pocket, and I used this heart in another journal page. So this was actually left open, but I didn't want to throw it away. So what I did was I used the negative paper here, and this is actually paper from a chocolate wrapper. That's gold, so I added that there. Again, same thing from the cardstock with the music paper. And here I added in a couple different items. This is plastic from orange. My tangerines come in, and since it's a very bright red color, I decided to kind of incorporate that in here. It's funny because it actually reminds me a little bit of this eyelash trim, this is fabric, but this is actually plastic, and I'll show you that material in a bit. And then I have a bunch of my dad's as well as my husband's old ties, and I can't get myself to throw it away, or so I went through a few of them, and several of them were Christmas colors. Some of them are polyester, some of them are silk, so I'll have to figure out how I want to use those differently. But I went with this one that's red, and I added it as a tag topper. All right, so card. Then I have some of this thin construction paper that I bought from the thrift store. One side of the envelope, some accounting paper, and I have several of these types of papers that I saved for my kids when they're young, when they only use like half a notebook. So I did not throw the papers that were unused in those away. Again, the other side of some of the accounting papers. And then I have this book, which I'll share with you guys shortly, but it's like the perfect size for this. And it has the hymn on one side, and then on the other side of the book, it'll actually go into detail about how this song came about, who was the writer, like what was the circumstances. So it gives you so much more detail and appreciation for these hymns. I saw one and I loved it, and then I had to go online and see if like what was it about, and I guess there's maybe 3 versions of this. This is book number 2, and I so far I'm like loving the book, and I love reading. I love reading the history of the hymn. Yeah, and I think that appreciation came a while back when I was in choir, and we would go over some of the history of like those songs. So all right, so then the other side, again, I kind of kept this open so I could do some writing on it. This side, the other side of the envelope. And this envelope is very interesting. It's kind of reminiscent of rice paper. I don't know if you can see it, but it's, ooh, that's gonna be hard. It has a little bit of different coloration for the roses that are on there. Wow, that's really tough to see, but yeah, I love the feeling of this. Okay, this one I again just had some extra paper. I think this was from one of my packaging, and I just love the circle modern circle drawing on here, and I didn't want to throw it away. And on the other side it was completely empty, so I thought that'd be a great writing space. And then my daughter had from years ago cutout of all these alphabet letters, and so I just thought, since this color kind of coordinated, I would just cut it in here. I mean, E doesn't really mean anything. I just kind of attached it to both sides of this paper that I wanted to save. So yeah, you can do journaling on that side. Right, and so I do want to go back in here at some point. I have to go to my other space where all my jewelry is in, and maybe add charms and stuff like that. So we'll see how that works. And this is the other side of the card. And then, oh, belly band. Yes, so this is a belly band that's added to the other side of the card. I think this is just to really hide, I think, like so maybe the manufacturer information back there. And then this is the end of that signature. And I made it into a little folder. And this is some fabric that I tied into the folder so that I could have a little cute ribbon there. Okay. Now we're into the second signature. Again, it's going to be pretty duplicative. I've had this for quite a while. Again, when you get packages or gifts or anything, they always, I mean, they come with a cute ribbon or obviously really great paper decorations. And I think this is where my affinity for this started, is because I didn't want to get rid of any of these things. And so I really need to figure out a way to kind of reincorporate these into maybe my journaling or anything on my love for stationery. And so I just added this cute little bow into a paper clip, and I did this I mean, many years ago, because I just didn't want to throw away this cute ribbon. And so yeah, this is just ribbon that came from chocolate, and now I use it up there. Oh, so adorable. Again, I don't know if I'm going to glue this in yet, but another pocket there, and then a coin envelope that I made. I try to use some of those Fiskar, like kid-like scissors to cut this, and glued it together and made a little envelope. And I love the vintage look of these ads in there. And again, another ribbon, another paper clip that I added a ribbon to. And some of the similar construction paper I showed you earlier, that was pink, but this one is yellow. Again, some more accounting paper. Here's another unique card. There's only one of these in the batch that I found in the thrift store. Again, it was a box of a bunch of Christmas cards, and there were a few that were good size for this. A blue paper. Okay, so this is the other side of that Joy to the World song that I had in this signature here. And so this is the other side of that would show up when you open the book. And basically it shows you when the song was made, and it shows a verse, who was the writer of the song, kind of how that person came about writing the song, and yeah, just the history of it. So I really love the fact that when some of these songs, some of these I don't know obviously every hymn, but some of these, especially like Joy to the World, you'll be able to just appreciate the history behind the song. So I thought to add that in here as well. Okay. Piece of paper, wallpaper, and then the end of that card, my accounting paper, and the end of that signature. Okay, so then this is the third and final signature. Again, had another card. I think this is the only one in there. I actually am a little bit afraid of birds, but I love birds in these photos or illustrations. I love illustrations of birds. I think they're so cute. So I just think I'm afraid of all wild animals. yes, this was, I think, a tag from a gift bag that I think it fell off and I wanted to keep it. So now it can become a journaling spot. It might actually, yeah, I think it has someone's name on here, but I added some paper. Oh yes, this is awesome. It's a vintage game. I've never played this before, but again, I just thought the red and black coloring matched the book. And I love the age of the paper. It has a yellowish tint to it. So yeah, I've never played the paper. I mean, I've never played the game. So if you have, let me know. I'm interested, now that I'm going thrifting, I'm interested in all of these little things that I'm starting to find out about. This is one side of the envelope. I did some embossing on this a long time ago, so it has a little bit of texture here. These dots. I think I stamped this little bell on here and did some embossing. And then decided to go ahead and add in a weed. I think it's a weed book, but it has these wonderful drawings in there, and I decided to add that into the middle of the signature. I kind of like to have something fun to look at in the middle of signatures. The other side of the envelope. And this is a very big journaling spot. I decided to go ahead and glue this in here. So I have a video that probably will be coming up about a book that I harvested that had really, really great images. And it's a Lauren Conrad book. So, and I think she's talking about how to do like party planning and prepping, and they're just great photos in there. So I decided to go ahead and harvest the images, because that book was actually on the color of the week, so I knew that somebody wasn't going to buy it, that it was probably going to get tossed. So decided to go ahead and use those images there. And that's the end of that book. Sorry, the signature. And yes, I may or may not glue this down, put some stuff in here, we'll see. And then the last page has, again, this bright corner piece from this all came from the same scrapbook pad. So this, and as well as this kind of Burberry looking paper. So I just put it together. I don't really know if the colors coordinate, but I assume if somebody did all that work that they think it does. So yeah, this is a card I made, I would say over 20 years ago, when I was getting into just playing with paper and making cards. And I just kind of did this by hand, cutting out the squares, stamping on this little tree. And again, this is probably when I had just like a bucket of craft supplies, but now it's become a whole room. So it's ridiculous now. But yeah, it just brings back a lot of fun memories for me. And so yeah, we'll probably go ahead and I decided to go ahead and use this as a journaling card in here. But yeah, I just tried out a lot of different ideas of, you know, cutting out squares with an X-Acto knife, obviously glitter, using this 3D dimensional sticker here. Yeah, and so it was, and oh yeah, and this idea of cutting up this so that I could tuck this in here. So yeah, this is all kind of new to me at the time when I did this 20 years ago. I mean, I've gone back and forth between making paper cards and journals and all that stuff. So yeah, I've always been playing with paper, and I just loved that this idea at the time. So I think this is a perfect place for that. So yeah, that's the journal. It was fun. Again, I'm not finished, but I did want to wait till I was finished because I'm going through and making a lot of things, and it just kind of work on things as I feel within the moment. And so this was fun to make since I started this like right before Christmas. And this is the progress I made. I'll probably go ahead and, you know, maybe in the future, if I actually complete this or add more embellishments on it, maybe I'll do an updated view of it. But yeah, I loved how it turned out for my very first Christmas journal. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you a few of the things that I used to help create this. Oh, I guess I should leave it open in case I want to reference it, right? It's like opening a present each time. I love it. Like I said, when I went thrifting, I ended up getting a whole box of cards. They just put it in this box. But since then I've, you know, acquired a few more, but like for this one for 99 cents, how cute is this? It's quite big. This one is quite big. And I just added it into this box. But this box came with quite a few. So here are the envelopes. Here is actually the cover card that the cover to my Christmas journal that I ended up just cutting here and using the birds for the journal. So there's a few of these in there, and there's a few of this in there. I guess this person really liked birds, so yay for me. Because I like birds on cards I don't know about real life. And there is something else in here which I don't think I've used, but this is, I think, somebody's collection. Gwen Frostic press craft papers. And so in here there's some awesome envelopes. Look at this. Way feels very handmade. All of these papers feel very handmade. Look at that. I'm getting on a tangent because this isn't what I was going to show you some of my thrift find, but it just has a very, very light wash of the illustration on these. So I think that's really awesome. So that was in this box. And again, tons of envelopes. And then this Christmas, this was the special envelope that has the slight view of the roses on here, and it feels very much like rice paper. And it's this card. I really love this card. Look at that. It is so beautiful. So I actually made a mini notebook of this, and that's going to be another video, is how I use these Christmas cards to make mini journals. Let me show you that really quickly so that you'll stick around so I can show you those. But yes, these are mini journals that I made out of my collection of Christmas cards that I have. So yay, cute. All right. So yeah, that's where I got several of my card supplies that are in my junk journal. So let me go over this other bunch of supplies. And again, I've been adding to this journal for over several weeks, so it's not as if I came up with this, but I was just thinking through it as I started the journal and the color scheme and things that were I wanted to add in there. So again, this is a bag that comes with your oranges and tangerines. So the color is so vibrant. Look at that red. And then when you're cutting it up, it ends up very, very much mimicking this eyelash trim here. Oh my gosh, you're not gonna be able to see that. Okay, this eyelash trim. But it's not, I actually just used it here on this tag as an addition to give this ribbon or this tie a little bit more interest. So I was experimenting with that. I'll probably just keep one of these. I don't need to save all of these because it's gonna last me a while. Okay, and I do have some of this ribbon. And so all I did here was actually cut out the Christmas tree, which is on the cover here. And I love the coloring. I love this green color, so I do want to incorporate more of the color around the tree at some point. But yeah, so if you don't want to, this has, you know, this is for you to like mold and create into like big bows and stuff. But if you don't actually need the metal here, you can always cut it here, and then this basically just pulls out this metal. So then it becomes just a normal ribbon. Okay, and this fabric is something I'm trying to figure out how to use because I love it. So when I go thrifting, I definitely look at the dresses, and or dresses or clothing, and in here is, I use some of that fabric here to create this ribbon here. There was a little bit of the sheer red ribbon, but I do want to figure out how I want to incorporate some of this beautiful fabric in there. And it's all gold thread here. I mean, we sometimes have beautiful fabric that comes through our thrift stores, because I live in a very like multi-ethnic area, and so just different types of dresses and outfits come through our thrift stores. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. So yeah, so this gold is also perfect. This is so beautiful. I gotta figure out how to make more stuff with this. Again, this was some of that scrapbook paper that I was telling you about, that it really made up the bulk of the signatures on the outside. Playing with a little bit of embossing there. Okay, a few more cards that were part of the box, and I just pulled them out. I wasn't sure I was going to share the box, but yeah, just like a few more cards that were in there. So I could probably create another journal that has these in there. And then I do have, I'm gonna put a video up where I did a haul of these work baskets that I got a really great deal on eBay. Somebody was selling from this wonderful, assuming Miss Lawrence Hibbett's collection of work baskets, and I have it from the late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So they were collecting this for quite a while, but the older ones are much more vintage, and I love the look of everything. So I want to do a video where I share that haul with you. I've started to record some of it, but I definitely want to share that with you guys. Look at these. Look at some of these images. They're just awesome. And again, I think the older ones are, I mean, I just like the older ones because they're more unique. Not to say that the 80s wouldn't have some stuff in there, depending on what you're looking for. And maybe I should go through this a little bit faster. It's hard to go through it fast because you just want to look at everything. Yeah, these advertisements are so fun. And so this is what I use. I used a similar one to make that. Oh, I even love this. Look at this ephemera I can make. So I used this work basket to just make this coin envelope that I showed you guys earlier in my journal. Ooh, came out. And this would just be a cute page within a journal. Just sew it right there along the seam. Any 5 books for 99 cents. That's a great deal. Look at this. These images are so cute. So yeah, sometimes, so a page like this is where I would fold it and make a coin envelope. Oh my goodness, how can I do a video on this and show you guys the goodness of these pages without it being a 5-hour-long video? That's the question. Oh, this page has to turn into something so cute. These little ads, right? Aren't they so cute? And it just, obviously because they're black and white, it just goes, you can just use it with so many different journals. And this would actually go well with the Christmas journal, right? It's got a little bit of red. I mean, it's kind of on the pink orange hue, but you could pass as red. That, I don't know how I would use that. Yes, so I have several of these, so definitely want to do a haul video on that. Okay, and then this is also what I used in the middle of my signatures on these two signature, the first and the second one. Oops. And this book, I don't know why, it's not even that old, but I've just been loving it. Good job, Robert J. Morgan. But look at the pages on the edge, the way they just made it feel like it was ripped off the printing press that way. Let's see what the, oh, somebody, my big sister, Mary, for your life of your love of hymns. Oh, that's so nice. So this was copyrighted 2004. Again, like I said, not necessarily old, but I like the size of this. It's I need to get like an inches ruler somewhere around here, but I do have tons of rulers. It's about 23 centimeters, about 15 centimeters wide. So for the size of journals that I like, which is about this size, you know, a little bit bigger than my hand, to carry around, this is the perfect fit. So yeah, so it's got a bunch of these songs in here. And as I mentioned, when it shares the song, it shows you the hymn, but it goes over the history of the hymn. So that is why I think this book is so fun. And when I decide to use any of these songs, it's definitely, I want to make sure I add both of those into the journal. Usually, I mean, I like to get music sheets that don't actually have words in it, like, you know, Mozart canon, those kind of songs that don't really have words to it, because I think that's really beautiful in a journal. But this, just, you know, just reading through hymns and the history of that stuff, I just think it's so fun. So yeah, so it's a bunch of that, and that is where I got Joy to the World from this book. So that is a lot of the material that I used to make this journal, and it's been so fun, and I've loved it. I've loved every bit of it. It's been exciting to just, you know, try to take things and recreate them into different art form. So I've really had tons of fun. All right, well, thank you. And if you like this content, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment below. I love to interact with you guys, and thank you. All right, until next time, bye.